It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
Yep, it's KP's Video News, and it's this is a situation here that has coming back again to the people that are already suffering, man, that are already going through and catching all kinds of hell over in Flint, Michigan, and it's a real bad scene what they had with, and that was it's been going ongoing for years now, and it's a real bad scene, and so anyway, as usual, the powers that be figure, well, we can just throw money at this and it'll go away. But hey, money is sometimes not always the answer. So here's a story here. You have a lady that says she lost 4 babies, and a $600 million payout can't fix the Flint, Michigan nightmare. Nakika Wakes was pregnant with twins in 2014 when the water coming out of her home's tap in Flint, Michigan turned brown and began to stink. Within months, she lost both babies. Soon after she became pregnant with twins, once again she lost them in a miscarriage. More recently, Wake's daughter miscarried, and the family fears she is unable to have children. Meanwhile, her son started puberty at 7 years old and developed dramatic cognitive and behavioral problems that have steered his young life off course, she stated. And the health problems all trace back to Flint's poison water, Wakes told the media on Wednesday, and she's unsure if her family will ever recover from this. And the damage is done. It's irreversible, she stated. The Wakes tragedy is emblematic of the spectacular suffering in Flint after the GOP state, that's Republican, state officials decided to switch the city's water source from the Detroit River to the Flint, from Detroit to the Flint River as a cost-saving measure. And so what they actually did was they had that good water, that good Detroit water that was coming into the city of Flint, Michigan, and they diverted that water to the GM plant, General Motors car plant that was close to Flint, and then they diverted that water that was going to GM, they diverted that to the people's city water. And like they said, it was a cost-saving measure. Lead from corroded pipes began to leach into the drinking water because it was not treated, endangered tens of thousands and officially killing 12 with Legionnaire's disease. And it was investigated and concluded that the real death toll was much, much, much higher. So far, justice has eluded the largely black population of the city, whose residents sounded the alarm in a vein about poison water for the better part of 2 years. But a new $600 million settlement officially announced Thursday could be a massive step towards righting horrific wrongs against Flint communities of color that long preceded the Trump presidency. The settlement with the state of Michigan, which is still pending approval from a federal judge, includes a fund that will make payouts directly to residents. The fund's legal structure is weighted to benefit young children disproportionately likely to suffer because lead causes developmental and cognitive damage. Corey Stern, co-counsel for residents in the negotiation with the state, estimated that kids under the age of 6 years old at the time could receive payouts in the mid-6 figures. Moreover, the payouts to children will be placed into an insurance accruing account that they can access once they've turned 18 years old, if they survive. In other words, the sum will significantly grow over time, and Stern called the settlement a really good deal for kids. And no deal is perfect, and there are always going to be critics, but it's really difficult to successfully litigate against a state agency, and this is about as good a deal as we could ever imagine. He says sometimes it really just is good, and this is one of those times. The settlement also does not bring an end to attendant lawsuits and legal fallout, and it only applies to civil action against the state employees. Separate suits filed against the federal government, city government, and private companies involved in the crisis will continue. And Stern estimated that there could be over $1 billion in damages awarded to victims by the time it's all finished. The state settlement is awesome, not only because of the financial component, but because the state is acknowledging that it poisoned the city, said Gina Luster, a Flint resident and activist with the advocacy group Flint Rising and the water survivors. The tainted water calcified some of her organs, which eventually led to a hysterectomy, breast cancer scares, and a range of other health problems, she said, adding that it caused a domino effect in which she lost a good job, had to get on welfare, and began relying on family and friends for assistance. This is a huge step forward that shows some accountability for the wrongdoings that have been done to Flint's residents, Luster said, while applauding activists who kept pressure on the state. When you keep applying enough pressure to a pipe, it's bound to burst, and I think the Flint residents know that. The settlement brings to an end the civil litigation against some of the saga's most reviled villains, including former Republican Governor Rick Snyder and Nick Lyon, the former head of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, who allegedly said of the deceased victims, they have to die of something. Wow. It was not clear whether Snyder's former emergency manager who made the call to switch the water will remain caught up in the lawsuits against the city. Though criminal charges against Lyon and 7 other defendants were dropped last year, criminal investigations continued, and new charges could be brought. Meanwhile, the previous $87 million settlement has been funding the replacement of the city's lead pipes, and a process that remains incomplete. Wakes also expressed a degree of skepticism about the new settlement. Money has been flowing into Flint for years, she said, but none of it has gone to the victims. Instead, it landed with nonprofits and other charitable entities that are often run by people who don't live in the city. And regardless, there are issues and anguish that money can't fix, Wakes stated. I've lost 4 babies that no amount of money can compensate me for. About 0.5% of the new settlement is earmarked for programmatic relief, Stern said, but the rest will go to residents or those who can prove that they legally work or went to school in Flint. About 80% of the residents' portion will be collected by those who were under 18 at the time of the crisis, and of that portion, about 65% will go to children under 6 years old. The remaining 20% of the residents' portion will go to adults. This is really about the kids, Stern said. The deal would not have happened if the majority of money wasn't going to children. Each payout will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Those who suffered more will receive more money instead of an equal payout for all residents, Stern said. Flint had about 100,000 residents at the time of the switch, and it's estimated that 7,500 children and about 1,800 adults now have legal representation. However, the fund is accessible to anyone, not just those who have lawyers. Wake said she doesn't believe the settlement when residents receive the money. She'll believe it. She said she'll believe it when the residents receive money. And in the meantime, she and other activists don't plan to rest. We're still fighting. We're still struggling, she said. People are forgetting about it because of Trump and everything else, but I'm not going to let them forget. We're going to keep speaking up until we get justice for Flint. And it's a sad, sad situation, man. After all this time, you know, it's been like, what, 6 years? 6 years and counting and it just hasn't. Just this case is just steady. It's just there, and it won't go away. So let me try to talk about something decent and something good for a change. We have a history-making situation as Amazon makes history as it hires the first black woman senior vice president, and as part of renewed efforts with more inclusivity in the company, Alicia Davis has been appointed as Amazon's Senior Vice President of Global Customer Fulfillment. She is the first black woman to become a Senior Vice President in the company's 26-year history. For 3 years, Davis served as head of global manufacturing at General Motors Company before joining Amazon in 2019. Now she will be responsible for the worldwide network of over 175 Amazon fulfillment centers across 16 countries. In addition, she will lead the worldwide network of customer service operations and technology, as well as the sustainability, product safety, security, and product compliance teams. With that, Davis has also become the first African American and fourth female to join Amazon's prestigious S-Team, a group of executives that advises its CEO, Jeff Bezos, which has been largely consisted of white males before. Davis joins the team along with John Felton and Dave Treadwell. Davis's recent appointment is considered a major turn for the company's diversity, even though Amazon's 840,000 person workforce consists of over 25% black people. Employees are still hoping for more inclusivity to its executive ranks and to be able to address racism in its fulfillment centers. And congratulations on that. And that's Alicia Davis, which is the senior vice president at Amazon. It's a big company, 840,000 employees, man. That is a huge, huge, huge company. So, hey, we making steps. We making steps here. Small steps sometimes, and sometimes, we're making a few big ones. And let me see if I can pull up something else here right quick. Let's see here. Okay, here's a good one. Here's a good one right here. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Sometimes the news is just that. It's fresh. Fresh. That's why you call it news. Otherwise, you could call it olds. It's got an HBC grad. Launches an online marketplace for customers and suppliers of African descent. Destiny Jones. Let's see. Destiny Jones, founder of LBC House, LLC, pronounced the Pound House, has launched an online grocery, health, and wellness store for customers and suppliers of African descent. People who reside in urban food deserts that lack affordable and healthy food options now have access to quality groceries and essential household items. The LB House provides nationwide shipping, enables thousands to improve their well-being while sustaining economic empowerment amongst African Americans. Growing up, her mother would shop at several different stores just to complete one shopping list. Having access to quality food means access to living in quality life, says Destiny, a graduate of Harvard University. I've worked and shopped in different stores knowing other locations stock diverse products of better quality. It's frustrating when we have to go outside of our neighborhood to shop for viable products. Recent events require a shift in how we fortify and utilize our resources. This digital platform assembles African American suppliers who will consolidate and expand the food supply chain for our community, and is an e-commerce marketplace featuring traditional and specialty items. Along with creating a digital market for grocery, health, and wellness products for customers, African American suppliers will be able to sell their products and manage that platform through the LB House. Destiny comments, our health is our wealth, so we must be proactive about strengthening our well-being. And products available for purchase at lifesourcebazaar.com. That's LIFESOURCEBAZAAR.com. And you can follow LB House on Instagram and on Twitter. And the Pound House. And it's the Pound House. That's LB, the Pound House. Founder in Howard University, Destiny Jones, started with the Pound House in May 2019. And she recognizes that it's up to the individual to decide what quality diet lifestyle is best. And as they find a balance, thus she aims to provide viable options for superior products at affordable costs in her community. She is passionate about circulating resources within the African American community by utilizing product suppliers of African descent. So hey, it's a good thing. Destiny Jones. She had the right name for the right job. Congratulations, Destiny. Do your thing over there. And that's lifesourcebazaar.com. lifesourcebazaar.com. And I'll put that on the story page, so you'll get a chance to see exactly. You can get a chance to go to her website. And I'm going to open that link up right now to see what she got over there. And hey, support. It's all about support. It's all about trying to change some things up in here. Let's get busy, folks. She created a whole online shopping situation where you don't even have to go outside, out of your house, and you get your groceries delivered, like I've been doing since this whole coronavirus situation hit. Okay, folks.
KP's Video News. It's KP's
That's
Video
right.
News, y'all.